Hello?
Beneath the bright surface of American cities, there's another landscape, one that few ever see. Under the casinos of Las Vegas, beneath the sidewalks of Los Angeles, below the rainy bridges of Seattle, entire communities survive out of sight. For most of us, these tunnels and tent camps only appear in passing headlines, moments of crisis, police sweeps, or viral clips online. But for thousands, they're home.
A lot of people move here thinking they're gonna become rich, and they end up losing it all and stuck on the streets.
Here, daily life unfolds in places never meant for people. Concrete storm drains, freeway underpasses, parking lot edges.
I can't really say there's any plus side to living in the tunnels, as you can see. Waterfront property, the weather gets bad, go outside, but wherever you go, you really can't beat. I mean, there's no good thing about the tunnels when it's flooding. It's not just the water, it's the shit in the water. Pallets, strip wire, mobility carts, there's dirt bikes back there, mopeds. I mean, you get caught up in that shit, you're done.
A hidden network of spaces that grew quietly as housing costs rose and wages stayed still. Down here, it's quiet, says a man who has lived beneath the Las Vegas Strip for years. When the city forgets you, the tunnels remember. Across the United States, more than 500,000 people experience homelessness on any given night. That number has climbed each year since the pandemic, shaped by rising rents, untreated mental health issues, and the synthetic drug crisis.
When I try to wrap my head around the fact that I was down here for 3 years and it was normal, it seems foreign. Heroin is not a social drug. People come down here to be forgotten. I came down here to be forgotten.
This film explores that underground America, how it formed, how it endures, and the people trying to bring light back into the dark.
We're not supposed to live in these tunnels. It's dangerous. A girl died last February in the flood. At least I have something over my head and people aren't robbing me every time I fall asleep.
Above ground, Las Vegas never sleeps. The Strip glows all night. Bright lights, endless sound, billions of dollars moving through the air. But just below the surface, another world breathes in silence. Hidden beneath the casinos and hotels runs a vast system of flood tunnels, more than 300 miles of concrete veins stretching under the desert city.
I'm currently homeless. We kind of just move from place to place as we can. Lately it's been raining, so we haven't been really in the tunnels. So we just kind of just move around a lot.
When the rain comes, these tunnels carry violent flash floods away from the streets. When the rain stops, people move in. Down here, in the shadows of the City of Luck, hundreds have built what they call home. They lay down wooden pallets to keep their beds dry. They hang blankets for walls, candles for light. They carve out tiny corners of normal life, books, photos, small radios, playing faint music from above. Most who end up here never planned to. Some lost jobs during the financial crash. Others battled addiction or mental illness. Some simply ran out of options. One man tells us he he once worked in the same hotel that now towers above his head. I used to walk through those halls in a suit, he says. Now I sleep right under him. Every summer, storms sweep through the valley. Water fills the tunnels in minutes, washing away everything in its path. People lose their belongings, sometimes their lives. Still, many return when the floods dry. It isn't comfort that keeps them here. It's the sense of belonging to something they no longer find on the surface. In the tunnels, there's no rent, no judgment, and for a few brief hours each night, no noise from the world above. Just concrete walls and the sound of dripping water. Some decorate their space with graffiti, messages of hope, love, or anger at a city that forgets. Others leave nothing behind at all. Social workers and outreach volunteers occasionally descend into these tunnels, bringing food, flashlights, and warnings about the next storm. They know that convincing people to leave isn't easy, because for many, the tunnels feel safer than the street. The strip shines as a symbol of wealth and escape, but directly beneath it lies a reminder of what happens when the dream collapses. When the lights fade, when the slot machines go silent, Las Vegas becomes two cities, one glittering above, one hidden below. And in that hidden city, every small act of survival feels like a story waiting to be heard. Some say the tunnels reveal the true cost of the Vegas dream, a debt paid by those who fell through the cracks. Down here, the shadows hold memories the surface world no longer has time to remember. But these lives still matter, even if they exist just out of sight. "300 miles west of Las Vegas, the story continues above ground. Here, the streets of downtown Los Angeles reveal a different kind of underground, one that everyone can see but few truly look at. Just a few blocks from the city's gleaming skyline lies Skid Row, 50 city blocks where the unhoused population has turned sidewalks into shelter. It's one of the largest concentrations of homelessness in the United States. Rows of tents stretch along the cracked pavement. Tarps, blankets, shopping carts, and bicycles form a patchwork city built by necessity, not design. In this place, privacy doesn't exist, but the community somehow does. During the day, people move between outreach vans and food lines. At night, the air fills with voices, sirens, and the buzz of streetlights that never turn off. It's noisy, chaotic, and alive. Skid Row is not a single story. It's thousands of overlapping stories of addiction, eviction, mental illness, trauma, and sometimes choice. A woman sitting outside her tent tells us she came here after losing her apartment when rent doubled overnight. She says, "I work part-time, I pay taxes, I just can't afford a roof." For decades, city policies have pushed poverty into this small area. Developers build luxury apartments just blocks away, while Skid Row remains one of the few places where people can exist without being moved along every few hours. Some call it containment, others call it survival. Outreach workers walk block to block, carrying water, clean needles, naloxone spray. Faith groups hand out meals, clothing, or words of comfort. Every gesture matters, but the scale of need dwarfs the help available. At night, police cruisers circle slowly through the area. City cleanup crews arrive with bulldozers to remove tents and trash. When the sun rises, people rebuild again and again. Skid Row is both a symptom and a mirror, a symptom of a housing system stretched to its breaking point, and a mirror reflecting what happens when a society decides who belongs where. Just a few minutes walk north, tourists sip coffee and shop in boutiques. Here, people line up for showers and breakfast sandwiches from mobile kitchens. Two worlds separated by a few streets and an invisible line of empathy. Despite everything, there's still resilience here. People share food, guard each other's tents, celebrate birthdays, mourn losses. In the middle of so much instability, community becomes the only form of stability they have left. As one man tells us, we might be homeless, but we're not hopeless. The city of Los Angeles has spent billions trying to solve Skid Row. But maybe the first step isn't solving, it's listening. Because until we truly listen, we'll never understand that Skid Row isn't just a place. It's a reflection of what's missing above it. And perhaps within its struggle lies the blueprint for a kind of humanity the surface world has forgotten. Far to the north, the rain becomes part of daily life. In cities like Seattle and Portland, it falls for more than half the year. Steady, cold, relentless. For people living without walls, that rain shapes everything. Under bridges, along bike paths, behind warehouses, tent cities stretch through the gray. Sheets of blue tarp shimmer with water under dim streetlights. Smoke rises from campfires built inside metal cans. It's a landscape that shifts every few weeks as the city clears one camp and another appears somewhere else. Out here, survival means staying dry, keeping clothes from soaking through, finding warmth at a bus station for a few hours, keeping your shoes from freezing at night. A woman in Portland shows us her tent, layers of blankets, a sleeping bag wrapped in plastic, and a small gas stove. She says she's been here since her landlord sold the house she was renting. She couldn't find another place she could afford. She says softly, "I'm not on drugs, I'm just poor." Each tent holds a different story, but together they tell one larger truth. In the Pacific Northwest, homelessness has become not just visible, it's unavoidable. Entire neighborhoods now live alongside tent encampments. Parents walk their kids to school past rows of shelters built from tarp and hope. Local governments try to respond by building micro-villages, adding shelter beds, and debating zoning laws. But demand always grows faster than solutions. The high cost of living, addiction to fentanyl and meth, and a lack of mental health services have created a perfect storm. Volunteers drive through the night, handing out socks, propane tanks, and clean water. They know names, faces, birthdays. They're often the only consistent connection some people have left. In Seattle's freezing winters, small acts can mean the difference between life and death. A hot meal, a dry blanket, a stranger who stops to talk. Yet, even in this grayness, community still forms. People share what little they have. They set up tents close together for safety. They look after one another when someone disappears. The rain falls on everyone, but for those out here, it's more than weather. It's a test. A test of endurance, of empathy, of how far a city will go to protect its most vulnerable. And when morning comes, as mist lifts over the freeway and the tents glisten with dew, it's hard not to see both tragedy and resilience side by side. Because for many here, the rain becomes a reminder that even the sky seems heavy, yet people still find ways to hold each other up. And in that quiet strength, the Pacific Northwest reveals a humanity the rest of the country often overlooks. No one dreams of sleeping on concrete. No one grows up planning to live in a tent or a tunnel. So how does a person fall so far through the cracks of a wealthy nation? The answer is complex. And it's not just about bad choices or bad luck. It's about systems that stopped working, slowly over decades. In America, housing prices have climbed faster than almost anywhere else in the developed world. Since 2010, average rents have doubled in many cities, while wages for low-income workers have barely moved. The math simply stopped adding up. At the same time, mental health funding was cut nationwide. Hospitals closed, community clinics disappeared, and people were released into the streets without long-term care. Addiction followed, first with opioids, then with fentanyl, a drug 50 times stronger than heroin. In many cities, treatment beds are scarce, and the wait lists are months long. So the streets became both refuge and prison. But the story doesn't stop with individuals. Zoning laws limit affordable housing. Developers focus on luxury units, while cities fail to meet the growing demand for low-cost options. Evictions rise, safety nets shrink, and one missed paycheck can push a family over the edge. A recent study found that nearly half of Americans would struggle to cover an unexpected $500 expense. In reality, losing a job or getting sick isn't just a setback, it can be the start of homelessness. Every city wrestles with the same equation. Too few homes, too little support, too late. People on the street are often blamed for their situation, but research shows most were stable once. They had jobs, cars, families, rent to pay, until one crisis began a chain reaction they couldn't stop. For veterans, it might begin with trauma. For women, domestic violence. For young people, rejection, identity, or the foster care system. Homelessness isn't one problem. It's 100 smaller ones colliding. And when someone finally ends up in a tunnel or a tent under the freeway, it's rarely a single moment of failure. It's years of invisible struggle that no one noticed. We often talk about fixing homelessness as if it's a broken object. But the truth is, homelessness isn't an object. It's a mirror reflecting the cracks in everything else. To understand it is to look beyond the tents and see the systems that built them. Only then can we ask a harder question. What kind of society allows this many people to disappear in plain sight? And perhaps even harder, what would it take for us to see them again? Not as problems to be managed, but as people to be welcomed back home. Because in the end, the measure of a nation isn't found in its wealth, it's found in how it treats those who have none. Even in the darkest corners of America's cities, there are moments of light. They don't always make the news. They don't erase the pain or the scale of the problem. But they matter. Every day, volunteers walk the streets and tunnels with flashlights and food. They know the names of the people they meet. They remember birthday. They come back again and again, even when it feels like nothing changing. A few bring sandwiches and bottled water. Others offer medical care from vans parked beside freeways. Some just listen, because being heard can be the first step back to being seen. On a cold night in Seattle, a volunteer bends down to hand a man a pair of dry socks. He smiles and says, "You'd be surprised what a difference that makes." Across Los Angeles, barbers set up chairs on sidewalks, giving free haircuts to people who haven't looked in a mirror for months. In Las Vegas, outreach teams venture into the tunnels before each storm, warning residents, helping them move to higher ground. In Portland, community kitchens deliver hot meals to camps in the rain. These moments don't solve homelessness, but they build trust. And trust is where every recovery begins. Some people do make it out. A woman who lived under a bridge for 5 years now works at a shelter, helping others navigate the same path she once walked. A veteran from Skid Row got clean, found housing, and now drives a van delivering supplies to his old block. Their stories aren't miracles. They're proof that change is possible when someone refuses to give up on you. For all the statistics, policies, and debates, it's easy to forget that every number in this crisis represents a person, someone's friend, parent, or child. Behind each tent is a life still unfolding. Behind each tunnel is someone waiting to be seen again. Hope in this world doesn't arrive with grand gestures. It comes quietly, one act at a time. A warm meal, a dry blanket, a conversation that says, you still matter. And sometimes that's enough to start the climb back toward the light, because hope isn't built in speeches or headlines. It's built in moments of compassion repeated until they start to heal what's been broken. In the end, it's not just about saving others. It's about remembering our shared humanity, that we rise or fall together, street by street, soul by soul. Beneath the richest cities in the world, another America lives and breathes. It doesn't have skyscrapers or street signs. It doesn't show up on maps. But it exists, quietly, persistently, definitely. From the tunnels beneath Las Vegas, to the crowded blocks of Skid Row, to the rain-soaked tent cities of Seattle and Portland, millions pass by this hidden world every day without ever seeing it. It's easy not to look, to focus on the lights, the skyline, the progress above ground, to believe homelessness is someone else's failure. But the truth is, this story isn't just about them. It's about all of us, about the choices we make as a society, about what we value, and who we decide to leave behind. For decades, we've tried to treat homelessness like a problem to fix. But maybe it's more like a wound to heal, one that requires patience, care, and understanding. Every policy meeting, every cleanup operation, every tent taken down, none of it means much unless we ask a deeper question. What kind of world are we building above the tunnels? Because below the surface, people aren't waiting for pity. They're waiting for possibility, for connection, for a reason to believe that the world above still has room for them. A man in Las Vegas once said, "We live under the city, but we're still part of it." That sentence might be the closest thing to truth this film can offer. Homelessness is not a statistic, it's a reflection. A reflection of our housing system, our healthcare, our economy, our empathy. And reflections can change if we have the courage to look into them long enough. The people living in tunnels, tents, and on sidewalks aren't invisible. They're only unseen until someone chooses to see them. Beneath America's richest cities, another city lives unseen. And maybe the first step toward change is finally looking down and noticing the life that's been there all along. Because the moment we truly see, compassion stops being an idea and becomes action. And in that act of seeing, perhaps we rediscover what it really means to be human. After all, the light above means little if it never reaches below.